From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh ha ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh ha ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh, but.
What's up, everybody? This is D from Brooklyn, here to talk to you a little bit about species for small tanks. You can have some beautiful species such as the white cloud, minnows, neon tetras, and other very small species that create a beautiful look for not so big tanks. You have small spaces, you have less complicated setups, and I just think it is something that needs to be mentioned because we're so caught up in get the biggest system you can afford, get the biggest tank that you can fit, that we forget that big isn't for everybody, and big also comes with big drawbacks. So as you can see here, this system is only 2.5 gallons. I have 5.5 gallons. You have 10-gallon systems, and I'm not saying get the smallest tank that you can get, but with plants, you can create a beautiful little biotope with smaller species of fish. You can even create really nice breeding setups, such as this one here. I have set up with a little spawning mob for my killies. I'm gonna swing over so you can get a full shot of the tank. I have wood in here, I have plants in here, I have artificial plants in here. Really simple setup. I have over here the same similar setup, but a 5.5 gallon system, which is just running off a Matin filter. As you can see here, I have leopard danios, which are really beautiful species. They're very hardy, they're very affordable, and let's say you get a larger tank, you can create a beautiful school of these fish. It needs to go and be said that a little bit of rock, a little bit of cave, you can create really nice setups. And I just want to debate the long going what I want to say is kind of word of mouth to get the biggest system you can afford, because a lot of times people get systems that are too big for them to afford, and you know, in an effort to try to set up something stable, they kind of set up something that's overwhelming. This tank I just have set up with a Matin filter, air-driven filtration. As you can see, I didn't even expect this Vallisneria to grow so quickly, but it creates a natural biotope for the fish. It's very low maintenance because, once again, I have fish such as the scarlet batis, which is a very small fish. For you people that love the larger species create a lot of waste. Not to say there's anything bad about them, but it creates a really nice small setup for those starting out in the hobby. A water change is basically a bucket of water. You don't have to change all of it. You can keep a bucket of water underneath your stand, 5 gallons. This tank, you can take 2 gallons out and guess what? You just did half your water change, and it takes about 10 minutes, if that, and it creates a really beautiful setup. So I just want to take this little segment to talk about setting up really manageable systems. I have wood in here. You can see that this is not heated. These are cold tolerant species, with the exception of the scarlet batis, which I am experimenting with because it was mentioned to me that they can be kept in lower temperatures. This system here, I have killies in, which are really hardy species also. You can see the temperature is hard to focus here, but you can see the temperature is also low here because I have these little systems next to a window, and you can see the fish are really vibrant. White clouds are a very cold tolerant fish. I've had them outside in my ponds with even an inch of ice over the pond. So you can see the fish are really active here, and I don't let it get much colder than that. It's in my basement, which is really probably about 68 to 72 degrees. I don't really keep it any cooler or hotter or any down here. But these systems are very simple. They're all air-driven filtration. Nothing complicated, nothing overwhelming. You can do something similar with a 20-gallon system, a 30-gallon system. Once again, the goal is to keep it manageable. And when I mean manageable, water changes do not exceed a bucket. A bucket is 5 gallons. In a 20-gallon system, that's 1/4, if not a little bit less. 5 gallons out, 5 gallons in. On a regular, you can do that. Anybody can do it. Keep your life simple. Even if you want to have a hang on the back like an Aqua Clear 20 or a filter like that, keeping the system manageable. If you have plants, they appreciate the water change. If you have fish, they appreciate the water change. You don't have to kill yourself with maintenance, and this goes for saltwater people too. Smaller systems are not easier. Larger systems can be overwhelming. I have seen many people go from 60-gallon tanks, which are beautiful, to 120, 200, and they crash. They have problems. It becomes overwhelming. The equipment becomes overwhelming. So I want to emphasize the importance of keeping the system small enough that you can manage it with the smallest or least effort as possible. That don't mean like make it maintenance free, but you can see I have a little peat moss down there to keep the acidity level there. I have some rocks, I have snails in there. You're creating a little biotope. Since you're not using heavy filtration, you got to do more water changes, but you also want to keep it low maintenance, and low maintenance means not a whole lot of substrate. But I have some river rock here. River rock is easy to clean. It doesn't show any like poop. Keeping your animal load low. You can see I have nano species like the scarlet once again. These fish have a lot of character. They're small, they're pretty. They're not the easiest to come by in some aspects. I like having some harder to find species with the exception of the Danios, but keeping it heavily planted keeps the water quality a lot better than it would be normally. I have a simple light here. This is an LED full spectrum light, nothing fancy, but these are very small systems, so you don't have to break the budget getting some really complicated lighting. The importance of keeping it small and keeping it simple is because the end result, you want to be happy with what you get. Now, of course, when you're ready to upgrade, by all means, you can get another system a little bit bigger, but too many times I see people jump into much bigger systems than they can manage, and it usually results in frustration, expensive equipment. You go from a small system to a larger system, all of a sudden your plants are dying, your coral are dying, the salt levels are off, and in the instance of like reef systems, the lighting requirements and the filtration are much different in larger systems, and really they aren't, but in people's minds they are. The principles are all the same. It's biological filtration, mechanical filtration, and the happiness of the animals. So with that being said, my emphasis is on keeping the system simple. Water changes, lighting, animals. No more, no less. So if you want to go out, get a 10-gallon system, a 20-gallon system, start with that. That doesn't mean get a saltwater tank, get a tang and put it in there. But you can get a sand sifting goby in a 10-gallon system, have salt water, run that system for a month or a couple of months, get it stable, see that you're happy with it, and learn what your trials and tribulations are going to be before you jump into a much larger system. Same thing with plants. I'm not using CO2 in any of my systems, and look, I got plants. It's a matter of keeping it realistic. These tanks are small, and they're only small because I just wanted to keep target species in these, such as the little killies and things like that. But you can do this with a variety of species. You can start with 10 gallons, 20 gallons, 15 gallons. In this case, I have another 2-gallon. I just wanted to keep something near my bonsai tree. I'm trying to grow little bonsai trees here, so I'm keeping it manageable. So far, so good. Once again, if I wanted a big tree, I'd kill a big tree because I never kept one before. I'm keeping a small one. I'll run that for a few months until I learn how to grow it out. When it grows out, I'll move it up. I got a little corner for it, and that's all I can tell you. So I hope you appreciate that segment. Leave your comments below. If you got any other subjects you would like me to cover, I try to keep things simple and to the point. Love, peace, and hair grease, everybody. This is D signing off with a Sunday swim on keeping it small, keeping it manageable, and keeping your sanity. Don't go nuts. Do what you can do. Love, peace, and hair grease. I'm going to have a nice drink here. I'm going to leave you with a shot of the tank. Click that subscribe button, and I'm out, people. See you and happy Sunday.